Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your bio class. Today we are starting with the chapter number 2, solving a biological problem, page number 20. As you all know, the definition of science that science is a systemized knowledge derived from observation and experiments. Why we do these experiment and these observation? We do it for making new theories and laws. All the scientists, either they are chemists or the biologists, they adopt some scientific method for making these theories and laws. So student, our first topic is biological method. What is a biological method? The scientific method in which biological problems are solved is termed as the biological method. What is a biological problem? Any problem related to the living things or that is caused by living thing and that affect the living thing is known as biological problem, and we are discussing and we are solving it through biological method. Dear students, as you all know that scientific knowledge is ever growing, so the biological method play a vital role in the scientific research. So it plays a vital role into the advancement in medicines, ecology, technology, and it also ensures the quality of data for the public use. Dear students, whenever a biologist face some biological problem, he go for a solution, and for solving that biological problem he takes some specific steps. These steps are known as the steps for solving a biological problem. The first step is recognition of biological problem. If a scientist does not recognize the biological problem, how can he solve? So first step is recognition. A biological problem is a question related to the living organism that is either asked by someone, anybody, or comes in the biologist's mind himself. So, first of all, he recognizes it. Just like nowadays we are suffering and facing with the COVID-19, that is the coronavirus, and the biologists they understand this is a biological problem. After recognition of the biological problem, though observation is the second step, but while solving a problem, it is referred as the first step. Observation, how we make the observation? Observations are made with our five senses: hearing, touch, vision, smell, and taste. We are using our five senses for making the observations. When we are making the observations are divided into two types: qualitative and quantitative observation. As the name indicates, qualitative means that quality is present in these observation, and in quantitative observation, quantity is present in these observation. These are considered as more accurate because the formers are invariable and measurable and can be recorded in the terms of number. For example, student, if I am saying that I am drinking the hot milk, so it is the quality of milk, that milk is hot. But when I am saying the temperature of milk is 40 degrees centigrade, so it tells us the quantity, that the temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. So this is the difference in between qualitative and quantitative observation. And in your book, two examples are given about qualitative and quantitative observations. After recording the observation, biologists formulate the hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? The tentative explanation of observation is known as hypothesis. It may be either true or false. While formulating the hypothesis, biologists should keep in mind some important points which are called the characteristic of that hypothesis. So these points are: it should be a general statement, it should be a tentative idea, it should be agree with the available observation, it should be kept as simple as possible, and it should be testable and potentially falsifiable. So, there is a way to approve or disapprove the hypothesis. So, these are the characteristic, and there is another thing that is called the condition. So, great deal of carefulness and creative thinking is very necessary for the formulation of hypothesis. The fourth step is deduction. Biologist draws deduction from hypothesis. It is defined as the logical consequences of hypothesis. For this purpose, a hypothesis is taken as true and deductions are drawn from it. If a particular hypothesis is true, then one should deduct a certain result. That's why it uses if and then logic. After it, the most basic and important step in the solving of a biological problem is experimentation. Experiments are performed using drawn deduction in the previous step to see if the hypothesis is true or false. Hypothesis proven correct is accepted to make further predictions, whereas incorrect is rejected. While doing the experiment, it must be a control experiment. The scientist must contrast an experimental group with a control group. The two groups are treated exactly alike except for the one variable being tested. In the sixth step, summarization of the results, biologists collect the data in the form of statistics like tables, graphs, numbers, and furthermore from the experiments and use statistical analysis to draw the conclusions. Last but essential part of the scientific method is reporting the result. After drawing out the conclusion, biologists publish them in scientific journals, books, in talks at national and international meetings, and in seminars at colleges and universities. It allowed other peoples to verify the result or apply this knowledge to solve the other problems. Okay student, in next lecture we are going to study malaria as a biological problem. Thank you.